So it's Raven Tactical here. I'm going to do something about Veterans Day. It's a little bit belated. I wanted to do something on Veterans Day. I just didn't know really what to say. For me, it's kind of a weird... It's a weird day. So, I mean, on one aspect of it, am I a veteran? Yes. I served. I did my tour of duty. I spent time in the military. I did my job, essentially. Was the job basically the one I wanted to do? No, I was a mechanic, or what basically was a 63 Bravo turned into a 91 Bravo, which is just a wheel mechanic. And I got assigned to a heavy transportation company. That heavy transportation company drove heads and head systems. So we were getting deployed and to go to Iraq. And during this whole build-up and all this, you think you're going to be doing convoy operations, and we would be doing recovery with, recovery assets and fixing stuff like contact trucks. And when we were going through mechanic school through AIT, they had talked about how mechanics were vital assets to the convoy and how we'd be responsible for doing this and getting the assets going and, recovery and all this stuff. So we thought, cool, this is going to be great. Kind of a action moment, right? You're going to be at least doing something or doing your part. And I kind of have to take it a little bit back, right? So I enlisted a little bit later in my life. I enlisted at 26, right about when my birthday turned 27. I did a delayed entry so that I could get kind of in shape. And I went in January, so I enlisted in June, and I went in January of that following year. So from that January, from basically when I started basic training and down at Fort Knox to, I think we were at, basically July 1st, roughly the end of June, went to Fort Jackson for AIT, and then received orders for the deployment pretty much within that window, and was expected to either deploy, we were going to go before Thanksgiving or a little bit after. Turns out it was after, but we deployed basically January, would be right around the time. So my first 12 months of what's supposed to be 1 week in a month, 2 weeks in the year, turned into full-time. It wasn't a whole lot of downtime to kind of figure out the Army side of things. So anyways, here we are getting our orders and figuring out stuff, and you're kind of excited about it, like, man, we're going to do convoy operations, we're going to do all this kind of cool stuff. Turns out that we were going to do prison work and run a detention facility overseas. So we had to go down for our pre-mo, which is pre-mobilization, your train up. We were being trained how to be an MP, and more specifically an MP for prisons. And so that's what we did. We went down there, and I'm super new to the military, super new to everything, and it's just, you're like eyes wide open going, okay, what's next? So you learn and go through basically the MSOQ or MSQ. You get qualified as an MP without the designator, which kind of sucks. Got tased, got OC sprayed, did all the baton, less than lethal weapons, did the less than lethal, takedowns and all the training, did everything we were supposed to. We were down in El Paso doing the mock prisons and all that. I mean, you could see, we were down at Fort Bliss, but you could see, like, the Mexican border side, all the, Juarez and all that stuff burning, at the time, because that was started the highlight of the big drug cartel wars. And it was just interesting, to see all this. And I remember getting food poisoning from Red Lobster right on my 4-day pass, right before we were supposed to ship out, and that was great. So we ship out, we fly out of Fort Bliss to go to Minnesota, and we're on our big 747 or whatever it is, and we notice they're working on one of the engines, and one of the engines isn't working. So they're like, don't worry, we'll fix it in Minnesota. So we had a plane fully loaded down with all our gear, all the troops, all the supplies, all the stuff, and it took most of the runway to get off. We got down there, landed in Minnesota. We were able to, they were able to fix the other engine and get it going. Cool. And we were there for a couple hours. We flew to, I want to say it was like Sweden or one of those countries, and they kind of had it all cordoned off. Like, it was kind of neat. You had those guys wearing MP5s, and they didn't really like you that much. So, and we land there. Then we take off from there. I believe we landed right in Kuwait from there. And so we landed in Kuwait. Good times. So we landed in Kuwait, right? And how would I describe it from there? Kuwait was another train up for basically getting acclimated to the weather, getting acclimated to all the stuff that's out there. Staying in these enormously white tents that as soon as the generator ran out of fuel, the tents went from like 80 to 180 in there in like minutes. We did stuff like rollover training, weapons qual, and driving around on these little dinky buses. Kind of weird. So then we got boarded on like a C-17 or a C-5, something like that. One of the bigger ones, bigger military cargo ones, where you don't have windows. They roll up seats and all this. Put all the stuff in the back. So now you're going from Kuwait to Bayam, which is the airport in Baghdad. So we get in this plane, right? So they talk about, they're like, once you get up and we start to land, they're going to do a combat landing where it's a hard, fast bank landing so people can't really just lob rounds and shoot the plane. Cool. Well, I have no problem with planes, so it was pretty interesting to see the people that got freaked out with the planes. Hey, I'm losing all my light, so I'll just make this a part 1 of Veterans Day, and then I'll add part 2, so that way at least you guys have something. I don't really want to lose all the light, but anyways, I'll leave off at the part where we land in Iraq and Baghdad, at Bayam. I'll keep going. Thank you.